This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on this wonderful Thursday? It is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. You're watching us on the BamaCentral YouTube channel. Mason, you all right, brother? You a little crick in your neck? Okay, all right. We're getting going. We're all stretching, getting ready for Thursday. Hope you and yours are having a big old Thursday, culminating with Alabama basketball tonight, 6:09 on the TBS, CBS, TNT, True TV, one of the four networks. We'll find out in just a second. But 6:09, the Crimson Tide play tonight. That's what we are going to focus on today. We got a few football topics as well. We want to invite you guys to jump in and join us on the comment section at Joe Gaither 6. You can find us on any social media machine. Leave me a comment, question, query, or complaint right there. You can call or leave us a voicemail at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Our friend Roy left us another voicemail yesterday after the show, so we want to hear what Roy had to say. Responding, we're going a little back and forth with Roy. This is the way the voicemail line should work. You call, leave a voicemail, we respond, and it goes back and forth. I find the voicemail works better because you, the caller, don't have to sit on hold all day, right? You don't have to sit on hold waiting on your turn. You don't have any of us cutting you off. Mason and I won't cut you off. You just get the whole time. I mean, I don't know how long that voicemail may let you talk for 5 minutes. So nobody's cutting you off. You can speak your mind and just hang up and feel better, and then we'll address it, and then we can go back and forth that way. So what are we going to do on a Thursday in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios? You first are going to follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine, as he wrote us another Bama Central recruiting update yesterday. Jordan
Edmonds,
welcome.
Yeah, it threw me off a little bit. I said on the show yesterday, it was 4:30. I did not anticipate, I did know, but didn't quite put together. He is in Georgia, so that commitment happened for us, a little, not quite at 3:30. So, I wasn't quite as ready as I had hoped to be, but we did got it up pretty quickly, got the news out there. So, I'm very excited about, the prospect of getting a player like that. I think he, once he gets here, probably will pair very well with a Dijon Lee being two very lengthy cornerbacks. So we will see.
Did I see 6'4"?
6'2" and like I had 6'2" and a half.
Oh my! I mean, where are they growing these kids?
It must just be, because like we saw it with basketball, the shift toward like, oh, you just need to be a really long athletic guy. Where now with corners, it's like, sorry, if you're 5'10", 5'11", you better be super good, or else we're looking for this guy that's 6'2", 6'3", and up. It's just the way, it's the new mold for a cornerback now. You got to be taller.
Where does the 5'10.5" person fit in athletics? Oh, we don't.
Oh man,
we don't.
It's tough sledding for you these days. We can maybe make you work maybe a scrappy slot receiver.
No,
if you're 5'11".
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Probably 5. That'll work.
You're pushing
running back.
Yeah.
Punt returner.
You're pushing it though. We're the days of the scrappy, 5'8" running back or whatever are behind us.
Oh, Tariq Cohen was 5'6", 5'7", a little short guy for the Bears, North Carolina NT. Oh, there's no place for people like me in athletics. Nobody wants to see me run and jump. Hey, you know where the place for someone like me? Soccer still. go play that commie kickball.
Not for me. It's too much running.
Oh, I love soccer, but
I could do like the indoor soccer where you're just in a gym and you can just kick the crap out of the ball and bounce it off everything. That'd be fun.
Half court style. Yeah. Not 94 feet. Just play 50 feet.
That's what I'm looking for. My younger sister played indoor soccer when she was a young lad. And that was some of the most entertaining children's sports I've ever watched because it was, a bunch of really uncoordinated 5- and 6-year-olds just running around, kicking a ball off the wall.
Now, sisters here, since we're getting into the age of pronouns and stuff, sisters are not lads. They're lasses. She's a young lass.
Well, it was a co-ed sport.
No. We cannot have boys and girls on the same team.
We had some lads.
Nope. No boys and girls on the same team. Nope. None of that. Got to keep the girls over the little girls and the boys over the little boys. And no co-ed sports here. Oh, my gosh. So, Jordan, Ed, Edmonds? Jordan
Edmonds.
Edmonds. Okay, all right.
Marietta, Georgia, Spraberry High School.
I'll learn your name if you sign your pen to paper, or if you join the show. Jump on and join the show, Jordan. We will love to get to know you. We'll introduce you to the Alabama fan base right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Jordan Edmonds, future superstar at the capstone. Okay, Mason, what do we want to do? We are in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. We got kind of the baseline out of the way. We got our, what we did yesterday out of the way. I got a few things on my brain. I've got talking to Kalen DeBoer at 10:45. I've got this ChatGPT, best Alabama football players of all time. Somebody put it out the other day. Just made me blood boil. Then I've got comments on the spring games, spring activities. You're talking about young guys, Jordan Edmonds. Oh, we're looking forward to seeing you become a player. Well, there will still be time to see young players at A-Day. I've got A-Day on my brain. I've got BYU and the NCAA tournament as well. So, dealer's choice. What you want to start with?
Let's start with BYU, I guess, because that's kind of hot in my brain right now. The amount of videos and things I have seen come across my feed over the last 24, 48 hours of people like so confidently, saying it with their whole chest that BYU is going to destroy Alabama. You need to hammer the BYU money line. Where is this coming from? Like, if people are treating Alabama like they are the leper in the tournament, I've seen people refer to them as the worst team by a mile in this tournament left. Are you insane? I know I'm sure I've got some crimson colored glasses here, obviously, but to say they are by far the worst team in this tournament is ridiculous. This is one of the most dangerous teams in this tournament. It's like insane. I have seen far too many people just extremely confidently riding with the Cougars in this game, and I don't really understand where this sentiment is coming from. And I don't know if it's just an anti-Alabama thing where nobody wants to see Alabama dominating in a second sport. And I understand people don't like it, but it's just very strange to me. It feels very fabricated. Bama, there's a pretty good chance Bama wins this game. They should win this game. This is not like, if we're looking at it just on paper here, Bama should win this basketball game. I don't really understand the other side of this.
They're banking on the shooting. They're banking on a hot shooting night for BYU. BYU shooting on the season,
and they've been hot the last few games.
Where am I? 3 point right there. 3-point attempt. 3-point. Oh well, I've got to break out the calendar or the calculator because not everything is broken down quite right on this page. What's 929? 347, 340. Oh my gosh, you cannot type. 347 divided by 929 for their 3-point attempts on the season. They are shooting as a team 37%.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Not so good that you can say like this team is going to beat, going to destroy. I don't understand. If you're seeing someone so confidently determined that the BYU is going to win this game and telling you that you should spend your money on that, do not listen to that person.
You got two guys shooting over 40%, 166. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, 43% and 40-something% for Richie Saunders and Trevin Knell, Knell. Nell.
LeBaron's going to put Richie Saunders in the pain cave. Put him in a phone box.
Richie. I think that's probably going to be Jaron's duty. He's listed as a forward. Listed as a forward at 6'5" for 200 pounds. Look, Little Barry can still handle 6'5".
He can, but that might be Jaron's job. We'll put LeBaron on our friend Trevin. Well, they got some names on this BYU team.
Yes, they do.
A lot of international players. I guess that's just the nature of the beast.
Apparently,
BYU,
this young man,
young
man Igor Demin is from a Russian basketball academy.
They got those over there too.
Kyle Bonagera from ESPN writes the story.
I thought they just had like MMA academies over in Russia.
Dagestan. BYU point guard Igor Demin was born into a basketball family. His father had a long basketball career in native Russia, played for his country's national team. Igor tagged along to brothers' practices. For kids in the United States, easy to dream about the NBA. Demin, yada, 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 yada. it was really hard to think about the NBA being in Moscow, being in Russia, because it's really far. It's like being in space. It's just a different world. It's like, how can I get there? I don't see the trajectory. I don't see the path. So we got ourselves some interesting stories here for BYU. Igor Deminin is averaging 10.5 points, almost 4 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game. Pretty much the primary ball handling guard.
What do you think it's like in a Russian youth basketball academy?
Hell. I think it's hell. I think it's probably...
You wake up, you have to dribble 6 miles in the snow every day.
Oh, gosh. This ball is out of air. Blow it up yourself. You put your mouth on it and blow it up yourself.
You don't get a needle. You better figure it out, buddy.
I think it's probably awful. Chain link
He's
rims.
Probably tough. Hey.
I'm envisioning chain link rims. I'm envisioning, frozen basketball courts.
Yeah, we've got plywood backboards, and it's you break it, you fix it. Hey, I bet Igor's a tough player.
There probably wasn't any backboard at all, actually. It's probably just the naked rim.
That's the best way to do it, That's how you get that's how you become, what is he, almost 30% 3-point shooter.
Isn't that handball? There's some sort of sport that's like that.
I've seen that. It's strange. You kind of, there's not like dribbling. You run and you pass it. You take like 2 steps. You pass it.
And they don't guard you when you shoot.
Yeah, once you get within a certain...
They're like, I can be like 2 feet from you and be like, hey!
We talked right before the show, like sports we could get into is, being unathletic. Sign me up for that one.
Yeah, without you jumping in my face, maybe I could. Maybe I could shoot it. Yeah, maybe I could shoot it into the basket. Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm not going to... Am I stupid? Okay. Am I stupid because I don't feel that concerned tonight? Now, I do recognize BYU can beat you. BYU can beat you. Yes, they can. But I don't know. I'm searching my feelings here on Thursday morning, and I'm thinking, fellas, if you just hit the marks, you just 12 or fewer turnovers.
Do your job.
You attack the basket, run, play good defense, rebound, hit the daggone marks. This should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, you have a playbook on how to win games. We've figured it out at this point. You have a method for it. Let's get the ball inside, rebound well, and there you go. Don't turn the ball over.
Every good team that this team has played, BYU has played, you struggle with. BYU lost in November 96-85 to Ole Miss in overtime. All right, let's see. Continue here. Lost to Houston, 86-55. Lost to Texas Tech, another Sweet 16 team. I don't care about the TCU loss. I don't care about a Utah loss. Lost to Arizona, another Sweet 16 team, 85-74. Okay, you beat Kansas. Great job. That doesn't matter. You beat Arizona 96-95 on the road. That's a great win on the road. 96-95 in February. Then we win on the road in double overtime against Iowa State, number 10 Iowa State, 88-85, double overtime. Nice win, really solid win. You follow it up at home, beating Iowa State again, 96-92, about a week and a half later. And then your final game of the regular season, you got the doors blown off you at home by Houston, 72-54.
The Houston team that this Alabama team has defeated. Mind you,
I don't believe that. I know it's true. I know I watched the game.
It is hard to think that that was this team.
I still I don't believe it. So look, can you lose? Yeah, you can lose tonight. But if you lose, I think you're going to look at yourself and think this is a massive disappointment. You let yourself 5.5 point favorites. I don't really buy any of the chatter about easy path. No, I don't. But I do think this is a game that, if you are who you think you are, which is, we're in the upper echelon of college basketball. If you are who you think you are, you win this game and you get to the Elite Eight.
Yep.
And you say, roll your dice with Arizona Duke, whatever.
Yeah. I think with either of those teams, you're just kind of playing with house money at that point. You're happy to be here. Whatever happens. If you get to another Final Four, awesome. But if not, you went out playing one of the best teams in this tournament. I don't think BYU is one of the best remaining teams in this tournament. So, yeah, if you lose to them, it would be a disappointment. And like we said, I think, if you just look at everything on paper, Alabama should win this game. They are bigger. They have, more athletic players. They should win the game. I think your issue is just going to potentially be the shooting of BYU, which has been hot the last few games, especially as they've gotten into the tournament. But again, if we get a Darian Reed back, we get some better perimeter defense out there. You can force them inside where you have the size advantage. I feel pretty good about what Cliff and Grant can do down there.
They ended up shooting really. VCU shot better than them from 3-point line. I mean, BYU shot 50% from the floor in the first game. VCU shot 41%. But from the 3-point line, VCU 39% to BYU's 35%. Now you look at that. 7 of 20 for BYU, 15 of 38 for VCU in that matchup. Now you get into the points in the paint. Okay, BYU 38 to 20. I don't really want to compare that VCU game because I don't really think that that's a adequate comparison for Alabama. You go into this Wisconsin game to BYU ends up shooting 35% from the 3, 40 wrong line. BYU shot 46% from the 3-point line against Wisconsin. They shot 49% for the entire game. That's 12 of 26 from deep.
That would explain the slightly inflated, BYU is shooting this percentage throughout the NCAA tournament stat I saw when the one game was pretty mundane and then the other game was like a very above average performance. You can't really, I don't know that you can really take that as, okay, this team is going to average right around 40 some odd percent shooting from 3.
Yeah, I think that tournament games are to be viewed in a vacuum in a huge way. Oh my gosh, all my clicks are going all over the place.
I would not count on BYU to be shooting over 40% from deep in this game. Now, they might, but I would not expect it to be a thing that continues. They probably will fall somewhere in that, 33 to 40 mark.
7 plus 12 is 19. All right, 26 and... Oh, my numbers. 26 and 20 is 46. Okay, so 19 of 46 for the two games. 19 of 46 is 41%. Really good number. Really good number. Good. I think that Alabama runs them off the 3-point line tonight and says, do you want to go play with Cliff and Grant? Do you want to go play with Cliff, Grant, and Aiden?
Sure. I think
or do you want to die in the mid range? Do you want
that works too?
Do you want to just live out there, die in purgatory?
Yeah, I think if me and you are able to identify such a weakness with BYU, I imagine Nate Oates and the staff can do that. Can do that as well.
Yo, Nate,
and they will very likely
on the phone, Nate.
Go out of their way to be forcing guys off the 3-point line and into uncomfortable shots where they either have to, like you said, get it inside. Or
we like the 17-footer, Nate. Let them
die in the 12 or 8 to 18 foot or whatever it is.
If you kill us from 17 feet, you deserve it.
Sure.
You deserve it. You win.
You're probably going to go play in the NBA.
You deserve it. That's fine. And that brings us here. We'll go back to the NCAA tournament and make our picks here in just a second. But we did get another voicemail from Roy in Lake Gunnersville. He just won't let it die with the mid-range jump shot.
Roy, Lake Gunnersville here. I'll answer your question directly. You're seeing it from the wrong angle, Messon and Joe. You see, of course, the best teams can hit the mid-range shot. Well, that's exactly my point. If Alabama wants to be the best team, they need to be able to hit the mid-range shot because the best teams hit the mid-range shot. Of course, Joe Schmo can't hit the mid-range shot. Of course, a Sweet 16 team can get there just by shooting the lights out one night. But if you want to go the whole way across the tournament, there's going to be problems. You're going to have a cold night. And you need something you can fall back on, and the best teams have something to fall back on. So, Messon, when you say Alabama's good at shooting the 3, Alabama's good down low, I have no doubts about that. That's why Alabama is in the Sweet 16. That's why I expect them to go to the Elite 8. But when we're talking about getting to the top, getting to the highest level, the championship, which used to be the standard for Alabama athletics, I'm telling you what you need. Roy out.
He keeps saying your name. Go ahead.
You keep throwing this fall back on, Roy. If we're falling back on it, wouldn't it be the last option if that's what you're falling back on? And isn't that the entire crux of our argument, is that shot should be your last option because it's the worst option that you have? You're making our argument for us, Roy. Yes, you should fall back to a potential mid-range shot if that's what you got, because that should be your final option as an offense in a basketball game, in a possession. I don't know how to I don't know how to paint this picture any clearer.
I mean, Roy, he's making his own argument by talking about, oh, you need something you can fall back. Here, okay. We all can agree on the math that it's the most inefficient shot. I think that Roy's probably there. That the math says it's the hardest shot to make for the least amount of rub. Why are you falling back on the least efficient option? Why? Like, that is a shoot, mark, dribble, handoff, over the planes. There's no time left. I'm not getting to the rim. This is me putting this up. I pray tonight, dear baby Jesus, whatever your favorite Ricky Bobby Jesus is, right? My favorite is the warrior Jesus. Dear baby Jesus, please let BYU take all 60 shots tonight from 16 feet. Please, please, please let them take every single shot from 16 feet. My man goes, of course, what do you say? Joe Schmo can't hit the mid-range.
Mm-hmm.
Mark can take one. He's allowed. Aiden can take one. He's allowed. Chris Youngblood can take one. He's allowed. But it's never it's not baked into the offense. It's the exceptions. It's the recipe for the cake calls for flour, eggs, butter, and it comes out. The cake looks great, but sometimes you might want a sprinkle or two. Like, we just need a little. Need a little. Like, okay, you're never gonna let. Hey, Cliff, you're open from 17 feet. Why don't you just take this mid-range shot? Like, you talk about these aren't NBA players. I think that's where the biggest issue is. Mm-hmm. People think that these players are all NBA players and they're all going to the league and they're all this and they're all that. No, the average college basketball player, even on a good team, on a real good team, is not an NBA basketball player. They're not.
No.
You create your system for what works for you in the whole. We create our system of rules at BamaCentral for, we've got, 8 of us, 10 of us or so, and most of us are talented to a point, but there's a couple of us that are a little more talented than others. Katie is super, super talented. Katie falls under the rules. She does all the rules. She lives the rules. But when Katie wants to have an exception, brother, she's earned it. Okay, so she wants to take a mid-range jump shot because she thinks, hey, I'm working. This is the best shot I've got right now. Great, Mark Sears, you can take that shot. Mm-hmm. Like it is. The rules are in place for people like me. Joe, you go take a layup or get fouled, or you take the wide open 3-pointer. If you're at 16 feet and you're wide open, go dribble it closer or pass it off. Like the Nate Oates rules are set up for most of the team. But when Brandon Miller comes around, Brandon, you want to take that 12-footer? That's okay. We're not going to get on to you that much. Oh, Javon Quinterly, you want to take that? I don't love it as much, but over the course of a couple of years, you've earned it, right? Herb Jones never earned it. We love you, Herbie, but it just wasn't your game.
Wasn't your bag.
Fine.
Yeah, I think another thing that a lot of people who get upset, fail to really, they treat the 3-pointers as if Alabama is just taking these horrible, contested shots where, there's no chance you could make it. They're not they're taking open threes. They are getting open at around the 3-point line and taking open shots. It's not like they're not wasting shots.
That's a great point. Because Roy's acting like they're taking. Oh, we're open from 16 feet, but instead I'm going to take 4 steps back and then get covered,
It's like
and then jack one up with no time on the shot clock.
That's not what's happening. You are stepping back to be still open and potentially getting an extra point out of the shot.
The system is set up to get good shots. It's set up to get high conducive, high percentage, high efficiency shots. And Aaron Estrada earned the green light last year.
Oh, yeah.
Estrada earned the green light. But like, you have to earn the green light if you want to play outside of the rules, if you want to play outside of the system, right? In our BamaCentral sphere, Katie has earned the green light. She can play. And look, you know what else? The other factor is Katie is super responsible. So when she decides to go outside the system, it works. Same thing with Mark. You earned the green light. Great job.
He doesn't abuse it.
Exactly. We don't just go to the elbow and just say, hey, man, I'm just going to take this shot because I like it.
No, man, I had an inch of space. I know I'm not in the paint. It's okay. I'll take it. No, it's not the attitude.
The system exists because they're college kids. They're not NBA players. They're not NBA players. They're not grown men. You talk about our biggest gripe with Avery Johnson. I don't want to say my biggest gripe with Avery Johnson. Love you, Avery. Thank you for raising the level of the program on the front side. I will give you that credit and acknowledge that. You raised the level of the program. You raised the profile and enhanced the recruiting landscape in Tuscaloosa. Great. But once that ball went up, brother, from these amateur eyes, you looked like you just sat back and said, go play hard, guys. I don't know how much in-game coaching was happening with Avery Johnson. Avery was very much a let them figure it out. Let them play it out. And you see this with Nate sometimes, and people get upset when the other team gets on a run and they don't call timeout. But Nate is much more of a micromanager. Like, is that, okay, I'm not an NBA coach. I do have to have hands-on with these guys. There has to be a system in place. Sometimes if they're going crazy, they're letting a run go by. Let's see what they're going to do. Okay, timeout. Like, they're kids. You got to put a system in place for them.
Yeah. The NBA is very much a place of, all right, you guys can get out there and figure it out and kind of get a feel for the game and make things work yourselves. College is not the place for that. You mentioned Avery Johnson. That reminded me. I don't even remember this game. The last time Alabama and BYU played in basketball was under Avery Johnson, 2017.
Was it a tale of two halves?
Alabama did win. Actually, pretty big, 71-59.
What's the first half say? Were they down like 40 to 10? Please.
Let's see. At the end of the first half, we
buckled up. We put our seatbelts on.
You were up by 12.
Okay, all right.
But you did.
You said 2017?
Yeah, 2017.
So this
was Dante
Baby
Hall.
Herbie.
Yeah, Baby Herb was on the team. You had Colin Sexton, John Petty, Dazon Ingram, Daniel Giddens. Yeah, good game from Petty, 16 points. But, man, I didn't even remember this game happening. I was watching the highlights from it. It was from some in-season tournament kind of deal. I mean, it looked like an AAU game. They were playing in, like, the tiniest little gym. There was, like, 60 people in the bleachers watching. It was crazy. But Alabama, they know how to beat BYU.
Have I ever told you my racist days on Ingram story? Oh, my gosh. I'm working in an unnamed restaurant in Tuscaloosa and worked there for a long, long time. And every time Alabama basketball would be on, he would come in. Very prominent person in the community. And every time Dazon Ingram would be on TV, you remember Dazon with the hair, the little, like, I don't know what the right term.
Like almost a mohawk,
right.
But it was long. It was strange.
Not even going to guess the right term because I'll mess it up. And maybe it's not as racist as I feel, but every single time he would come on TV, this person would shout at TV, "Hey, Dazon, take off the hat!" And I'd be like, "Hey, brother, you know he can't hear you through the he's like 3 miles away at the arena. Dazon, take off your hat." And it's like,
I don't think the hair has any effect on his ability to play basketball, my friend. It's like people who used. Oh yeah.
Maybe that's me being sensitive, but I thought that was a little gray area.
I'm with you. I don't think he said that to he wasn't saying that to Riley Norris.
Great basketball player, Riley Norris. Oh yes.
But yeah, man, I did not remember that game. Bama played well, obviously.
Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton, I love you so much. Colin Sexton is the reason I hate Avery Johnson so much, is because that team should have actually done something. That team should have actually gone somewhere, but they were relegated to Colin Sexton going 94 feet in the SEC tournament against A&M or Mississippi State, one of the Maroons, and it lays it in. And I can remember after he goes the length of the court, losing my ever-loving mind because we qualified for the NCAA tournament. Think about that juxtaposition.
Crazy.
I lost my mind.
Couldn't believe it.
It's like, here we are, generational player. We're about to waste him. 94 feet layup. Oh,
pure elation.
We're the 67th team. We're the 68th team. We're the 65th team. Whatever it was.
Who'd they play? Was it Virginia Tech or something?
Yeah,
and then they had to play Villanova in the second round.
Right. Oh, great job. You're gonna get the Villanova, the people saying, "Oh, the Villanova AD gave Villanova a good path with Alabama in his bracket." Like, get out! That is the dumbest narrative, and it's the narrative. It's the hindsight is 2020. People, we're not gonna say this when the bracket has come out, but after it starts falling out, it's well, of course everything was screwed. I got into a debate yesterday about St. Mary's and UCLA. St. Mary's and UCLA. Because Alabama got an easy path and Tennessee did not. Look up St. Mary's and UCLA on any bleeping metric that you like. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
But what about the 60s and 70s, Joe?
Our friend Hunter Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar ain't walking through that door. Bill Walton ain't walking through that door. Kevin Love, we're right here. Russell Westbrook ain't walking through that door. This is not your daddy's UCLA. Look at any gosh darn metric that you like. You can use the stupid AP poll if you like. St. Mary's ranked, UCLA not ranked. You can use KenPom if you like. They're 4 places apart from each other. You can use net if you like. They're 4 places apart from each other. St. Mary's ahead. I'll be fair, UCLA ahead in KenPom. Like, I don't care what metric you use. They are the same exact quality basketball team. They're both 7 seeds.
Sure.
This is the path for a 2 seed. Tennessee beats Wofford, gets a 7 seed, plays Kentucky. Talking about Kentucky. Kentucky. This is not your daddy's Kentucky. Alabama has beat this Kentucky team 3 times. Tennessee, if they are worth anything, will beat Kentucky like a drum.
Kentucky owns Tennessee, though. It's going to be awesome.
I can't wait.
It's going to be glorious.
I can't wait for my Tennessee buddy on, what is it, Thursday or Friday? Friday, probably.
I think it's Friday.
To be texting me through the middle of the game.
Yeah, it is Friday.
He'll be texting me through the middle of the game, and I won't respond to you, Taylor. And it's not because I don't love you. It's because I do love you. It's because I don't want to say, suck it.
Is this going to be rock bottom for Tennessee fans if they lose this game?
Yeah, because you've got senior point guards, Guy Ziegler. You've got long time. I mean, Rick Barnes is how much they're not
take
going
away
to.
Kevin Durant. What has he done in his career?
They're not going to, but they're gonna.
Bunch of Sweet 16s.
They're gonna lose this game, and people are gonna talk about firing him, and there's gonna be enough of a noise to make it a story, and they're gonna Tennessee retains Rick Barnes because you have to.
Sure,
like. It becomes
he's a good coach.
Yeah, it becomes It becomes a what do you do? Who do you hire in his place? You don't hire anyone in his place. You keep him because he's better than anyone else on the free market.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else getting hired already now, so that's tough. Oh man, that's a tough spot if you're a Volunteers fan. Hey, could be bad for Kentucky though. Who knows? I like Kentucky in that game, but we will see.
I'm taking the vowels. I'm taking the defense. I'm taking the experience. Yeah, I'm taking Ziegler over Oweh for sure. That I'm just God. Oh, and I feel like such a dirty person. Give me somebody send some soap to the Derry Daniel State Farm Studios. Oh, Roy,
brother.
We absolutely appreciate your call, Roy. Call us again, 205-462-7340, extension 800. We'd love the banter. But the fact of the matter is, you don't create a system that it requires a 1% type player, that requires NBA players, because the NBA players do not grow on trees.
There's only one Cooper Flag this year.
Exactly. And Alabama might have a couple NBA players. So a couple of our players can shoot the mid-range. But it is never the first option.
Speaking of, have you seen LeBaron getting some second-round projections lately? Is he going to come back if he gets a second-round projection from... I mean, because I
heard LeBaron likes to drive fast. I heard LeBaron doesn't like to go to class. I heard LeBaron is rude to waiters. Oh, what other like low level things can I put out? Because like none of that's true. Let me make that clear. None of that is true. But like, what can I say about LeBaron that's like, oh yeah, I heard he's bad with money, so like he probably shouldn't go to the. He's got a mom doing his finances. What else? This is all fake.
I have to imagine he will take a path similar to what Mark Sears did of like, let me kind of go see what feedback I get and go from there.
1,000%.
I think, unfortunately for Alabama's sake, he will probably get very positive feedback from the NBA, whereas Mark maybe didn't get the feedback he was looking for. He may be a projected, second round pick right now, but I think once he gets in there, it starts talking to scouts and things, maybe, is able to do any kind of combine or anything like that, he will potentially see himself raising back up into the first round and will be leaving us, unfortunately. But who knows? I mean, I don't know what the pay scale is for an NBA first round pick, but I know after the lottery, it drops off pretty hard, doesn't it?
Let's see. There's 30 teams. NBA draft. Let's see last year's draft, 2024, because we can find out what the fellow was picked. Alex Sarr was the first round of the second, right? 30. So Baylor Shireman was your 30th overall pick. Baylor Shireman from Creighton. Oh my gosh, if I never hear that name.
$2.5 million. I mean,
see ya. Bye. Go take your $2.5 million.
Yeah.
Go take your $2.5 million and get working on that second contract.
I don't know. Mark's got to leave. That opens up some money. Hey, LeBaron.
Isn't that what ended up happening with Herb got the second round pick, or he got the second round contract. They signed him to. They're not slotted, are they?
If you're a second round pick,
yeah, they're not slotted.
I don't think so.
So it's kind of whatever they can negotiate in the second round. No, I think LeBaron's still gone. Sadly,
I think likely yes, but there's a little bit there maybe. I would think if he does not get like solid, hey, you're going to be a first round pick, he maybe comes back.
Like what storyline can we put out about LeBaron that like won't actually hurt him because it's not true, but would keep him in Tuscaloosa?
He's got a crazy girlfriend. It's nothing about LeBaron, but
sure.
The people around him, I don't know that a team's going to want that.
Okay, you're right. Yep, that's good. That's good.
He's got a bad entourage.
What if he something like personality-wise that we can think about? LeBaron doesn't like to talk on the phone, right? LeBaron doesn't respond to emails. Something.
He's a really bad texter.
Something weird. It's
Here we go. He uses the Cam Newton text font, and that's it. It's like a huge turnoff.
I was going to draft you number 1, but all of our text exchanges,
I can't read it.
And so, buddy, you're off the board. No, I think LeBaron's going to be a great player.
I'm really grasping at straws to try to get him to stay, but yeah, he is very likely going to be leaving the Alabama Crimson Tide after the conclusion of this season. So, hey, folks. Let's, soak up what we got here.
Dear baby Jesus, please let tonight not be the last night for LeBaron in an Alabama uniform. Please, baby Jesus. Please, baby Jesus. Please, 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 please. That would make I will accept the finality of the season, no matter when it comes. But that is the aspect that's the hardest for me. Going to Tuesday or going to Monday, watching the girls. Watch the girls ball, and they handle themselves with dignity, grace. Oh, such grace.
Sarah Ashley's press conference after, I saw it this morning. Man, oh man. Talk about just like bleeding for the Crimson Tide right there. Whew. Respect. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's the hardest part to me is, of course, the women's season's over and it'll start again, but we'll never see Sarah Ashley Barker in a Crimson Tide uniform again. She goes in that press conference and talks about Carly Weathers. She and Carly Weathers, after at the end of the first overtime, she's about to go take her 3 free throws. And like, let me tell you, you put Joe in that situation, I am just urinating down my leg. I am just shaking like a leaf on the tree. She instead, Carly, you want to pray real quick? And Carly and she had a little prayer, and basically through that prayer, she says that, we pray to be good with whatever outcome and to lean on the training, and God's got it. And exactly 1, 2, 3, and of course they end up losing anyways. Oh man!
But they left it all out there.
Yeah,
it was awesome. And that's, like you said, that's the hardest part with like college sports, because with professional sports you get your team, you get the long-term contracts and things, and it's it's less about the individuals, more about the franchise and everything. But with college sports, it's so much about these players, because you only get to spend such little amount of time with them. You only get 1, 2, 3 years with the best of the best ones, and yeah, it sucks to see them move on. It hurts. Because I love, Herb Jones, like, it's a perfect example. I hated to see Herb go so much, and I know I can still watch him in the NBA, but I don't. I don't sit down and watch the Pelicans on a Wednesday night.
Terrible.
They suck. They're not any fun to watch. So I miss being able to watch Herb Jones lock up, anybody on the court on a given night. I miss being able to watch John Petty shoot up threes. I miss all these guys when they leave. It's tough. That is the hardest part for sure.
All right, so we're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We've been having actually a lot of fun today. I think we're in the midst of back-to-back good shows. Woo! Thank you so much, Derek Daniel, for letting us hang out in his studios, in his office. You should come check out his office right here off of McFarland Boulevard. Call him today at 205-758-3391. They're off of McFarland Boulevard right here in Northport. You just go to that McFarland, Laurel and Wallace interchange. Come up Laurel and Wallace a little bit further, past the Tiger Rock to the left. They've got great employees. Red, Reese, and Victoria are super, super nice. Anytime I chat with them, they make me feel like I've been an employee with State Farm forever, even though I'm not. So you can call them. You can be a part of the family at 205-758-3391 for all your home, life, auto insurance needs. I know last week Derek was giving out Girl Scout cookies at the office. I don't know if they're still upstairs or not, but you should come check them out and find out right here off of McFarland Boulevard. Derek Daniel and State Farm, like a good neighbor. Derek Daniel is there. Mason, let's pick these games real quick. There's 4 games tonight. BYU, Alabama, Maryland, Florida, Arizona, Duke, Arkansas, and Texas Tech. Golly, 4 great ones.
Yeah.
The first and second round were not good. Well, buddy, here is your full course meal.
Cinema.
Maryland, Florida. You riding Crab 5? I know you like those guys.
I do love them. And, man, that buzzer beater was awesome, although he may have traveled. I'm not going to get into that, though. I got to go with Florida. I don't think Maryland's going to be able to hang with them. I don't think they have the depth. It literally is the Crab 5 and no one else. Florida has that kind of depth to just, continue to attack you with 10 or 11 guys. So I'm going to ride with Florida in this one.
I think that's the easy call. I think the depth will end up wearing you out there, Maryland. But
hey, you start hitting some shots, things go your way, Maryland. You could quickly turn yourself into like the Cinderella of the Elite Eight. Because I know you're a four seed
Cinderella.
But come on, nobody's buying Maryland.
I think that the people who watch Florida struggle on Sunday, thinking, "Oh, they're frauds," will end up walking away thinking that Dan Hurley's a real good coach, and they're not frauds. All right, Arizona Duke. Jaden, sleeper agent 0111000 roll tide high tide 111040001. Jaden Bradley. If you guys have not even kept up, if you've forgotten about Jaden Bradley, he is over on Arizona.
Let's see what's he averaging this year.
He's doing pretty decent.
Yeah, I watched him play the other night. I know Caleb Love is the big star over there.
I think he's second scoring.
Let's see.
Jaden Bradley, as you looked that up, I thought Jaden Bradley was going to be John Wall. Oh, yeah, and I thought I thought he was going to put Kyra Lewis to absolute shit. Be the same kind of player, but like much better,
just more aggressive, stronger,
and
a little
finishing.
Bit more athletic.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he's averaging 12 points this year. Pretty good.
Not bad.
Shooting 30% from 3. I don't hate Arizona in this game. I kind of like
9.5 point favorite.
I kind of like Arizona, and it's probably just, my idiot brain who is like watching storylines with the Caleb Love facing off against Duke again. He knows how to beat them. They beat them earlier. I don't know. Something about me just wants to ride with the Wildcats here, and I'm going to, even though I think it's probably dumb. But I'm taking Arizona.
No, they didn't. They lost. Arizona lost to Duke.
Oh, they did?
69-55. And
beating them.
69-55 in November in Tucson, Arizona. Right there at the McHale Memorial Center. So that looks like a home game, a true home game that Arizona got. That
Either
Arizona
way,
lost.
I'm still riding with the Cats.
All right, you do that. I will take Cooper Flag shamefully. I really just hate taking the front runners because I always want to be like, I'll be different.
Is this Duke team like? Do you hate them?
No.
Like you hated Duke teams of past? Because I don't.
No, because we don't know them. They're all children.
And it's John Shire. He doesn't bother me at all. He's like he is a glass of water as a head coach, like a slice of white bread. It's just the most boring human ever. Coach K, like. He made you hate him by having this like holier than thou attitude. I'm going to go talk to the opposing students and tell them that they need to respect themselves more than they did. I don't know. I don't get any of that with John Shire.
Yeah, Duke did the funniest thing. They had the chance to hire the same coach on two different sides of the coin. They could have hired J.J. Redick or John Shire, the same exact player at Duke, the same exact sharpshooter. Almost the same careers. I don't think that. Yeah, JJ never won a title. I think JJ's deepest run went to the Elite Eight. But John Shire's just nice, and JJ's not.
Yeah.
And obviously, JJ's with the Lakers. I don't think they had the chance to hire him, but it's just like funny to me the juxtaposition, the exact same type player.
It feels like two roads diverge in a wood moment.
Yes.
Alternate timeline. JJ Redick leads this Duke team to a national title, and they return to the most hated team in America.
JJ's cussing in the media out in L.A., and people like rake him over the coals for it. And John Shire's like, "We're just trying to be respectful of the Duke brand. We're just trying to."
They just does nothing. He does not invoke any emotion out of me whatsoever. It's just like, oh yeah, that guy. He is a basketball coach. That's true.
The one and done thing eliminates a lot of the Duke hate. That's because. True. With JJ, with Shane Battier, with Sheldon Williams, like those guys, Carlos Boozer, those guys were in college forever. Yeah. And it's like, I watched you as a child when your older brothers were beating up on us, and now you're the older brother. You're beating up on us with children of with young brothers of your. Like it just became a Duke cycle of like, will it ever break? And one and done broke it.
Yeah. I think the one and done has definitely played a lot into that, but I think.
Like I didn't even hate the
final nail in the coffin of Duke no longer being this bastion of everyone's hate was like
Coach K retiring. Yeah. I didn't hate the Jabari Parker teams. What was it, 2011?
I couldn't stand them.
Like,
but
I didn't care. Like,
I
was
grew up liking North Carolina anyway.
Me
so
too.
that was probably why I hated them. Is the colors.
Tar Heel blue, baby.
Oh man, can't deny it. The best color scheme in sports.
Bathe me in Tar Heel blue. Yeah. Bury me in Tar Heel blue, please. All right, so last one, Arkansas, Texas Tech. Are we taking Cinderella?
Man.
Cinderella, the Hogs. Can we call the Hogs on the program real quick?
I'm extremely impressed. That was good.
I didn't want to do it right in the mic. I hope that picked up okay.
I'm
not in your ear.
Extremely impressed with what Calipari has done. But I got to ride with Texas Tech. I think the
defense.
I think the story,
defense.
The buck stops here.
Yeah, Texas Tech is just like
they're just good.
A roadblock.
Yeah.
Texas Tech is just like, oh gosh, what do you put in the middle of the road? It just like stops everything. A roadblock. What's a different word for it? What's
Texas,
a better word?
It's like a herd of cattle. I guess they're not the Longhorns though. They are the Red Raiders.
Guns up.
It's a pack of cowboys.
They're lucky they're in Texas. If they were not in Texas, how much longer would the Texas Tech Red Raiders guns ups Guns up. The celebration, signia, hand signal.
Yeah, are there players allowed to like do that when they score touchdowns? Or, because they've completely
firearms. You can't do violence.
You saw yesterday the NFL outlawed the the sniffing your finger or whatever thing.
Is that so? Like, not a gangster here. Is that just hey, we're snuffing the life out of you? We're sniffing because like I read that and I read it was like a violent signal. There's a violent hand signal, and it's like, well, I've wiped my nose on this program today, and I wasn't trying to be violent towards the listener or the viewer. Sorry.
This is from r/49ers. It says it's something about harming people.
Right. I'm not sure like what the correlation is.
It's a street term for harming someone. Wipe someone's nose. Hang on. I'll take that. Seems like I imagine if you're in the San Francisco 49ers subreddit, you're probably a San Francisco native, and there's some bad things that happen there. You're probably seeing that.
Yeah, I guess you can think wipe your nose on the ground or something. Yeah, it probably hurts. Curb stomp.
I think if we're having to work this hard to figure out why it's disrespectful, you probably didn't really need to ban it that bad.
The hand signal that I always hated getting banned was the arrow. They banned Brandon Cook's like archer arrow thing, and it's like, brother, who's robbing houses with a bow and arrow?
I still have it like burned into my memory. John Parker Wilson getting for doing the cell phone, and me just thinking that is the most ridiculous call I've ever seen in my life. But whatever.
I usually like some of that stuff.
Yeah,
I usually do.
Let them do it. I love trash. That people, we all act like we don't love it. This is everyone's favorite part of every sport: is the down and dirty, gritty, scrappy trash talk, spitting in each other's faces. That's not how we should carry ourselves. It's ridiculous. You people love it, and you know it.
You're setting a bad example for my son.
I'm just okay with admitting it.
I don't want my son to be rubbing it. Yes, you do.
If I was watching a Pee-wee football game and I watched one kid just clean another kid's clock, that'd be awesome.
Let me tell you, as a child who grew up in the under the guise of you've got to win with class, you can't rub it in your face, and it was really love you, Dad, thank you, really. Looking back on it, I wish my father would have said, no, just be yourself. Just be yourself. And if it's and myself at that time as a child was a brash. I mean, come on, if you're watching this show, can't you tell? I think I curbed a lot of that out of, that's not nice. That's not good. That's not how to. And I wonder if it has muted a bit of my adult self. Maybe not. Maybe that's just excuses I put up for myself. But if I have a child and my child is good at something, I'm going to tell them to celebrate.
Even if they're not good. I was a prime example of the meme of the guy sitting on the third place pedestal with the champagne. Like, that was me. It was like we'd be getting blown out in football 45-7. I'd still be out there. Just good stuff, getting in people's head. That was my MO. Loved it. That's the best part about sports, and everyone likes to dance around it like it's not.
Grant Nelson hits the Crimson Cream tonight after hitting the two hands.
I want you to actually kick somebody in the face when you do it.
No.
What are the refs?
We're at 53 minutes, Mason, and I have like 10 more topics for the day. Do we want to save them tomorrow, or do you want to hit one more of these before we go? We got Kalen DeBoer that we're talking to at 10:45. So he's going to tell us how all three quarterbacks have been playing good, and all three quarterbacks have been looking good, and they're all respected. And I'm pretty sure there's a scrimmage tomorrow that he'll say, we want to see the guys just play hard, and we want to see the guys take what they've seen over the first 2 weeks and implement them. And, he's going to give us a bunch of generic hooey, which is great. We're going to write it up and you're going to eat it up because you love it. But there's not going to be anything news related unless someone died, which they did. Right. I've got a list of 10 football players that ChatGPT says are the best 10 Alabama football players ever.
Roy, this is why you can't trust AI.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this should probably be saved for tomorrow because this is probably going to be a 3-hour conversation. Here's the top 10. Here's the top 10, and we'll go to the A-Day discussion and hit the end button. ChatGPT says your top 10 players 10-1. We'll do it 10-1. Amari Cooper 10, John Alexander, Tua Tagovailoa, Devontae Smith 7, Julio Jones 6, Ozzie Newsome, John Hanna 4, Mark Ingram 3, Joe Namath 2, Derek Thomas 1. Now 10, just studs, just all time. We're not worthy. Thank you for wearing the crimson jersey. Great players. But how many Heisman Trophy winners are on this list? 2. How many Heisman trophies are in the case over at the Malmore Athletic Facility?
More than that.
4. Look, this is where we're going to get in the debate. What's the value of your older Alabama players, Derek Thomas, Joe Namath, John Hanna, Ozzie Newsome, Sean Alexander on this list versus the Nick Saban players on this list, Mark Ingram, Julio Jones, Devontae Smith, Tua Tagovailoa, and Amari Cooper? I think you could take either side. Obviously, it's not a 5 versus 5 argument, but shouldn't the best 10 players of all time include all 4 Heisman Trophy winners?
I would certainly think so.
We should talk about that tomorrow. So you can leave us a voicemail on your top 10 Alabama players of all time.
Please.
Leave us at 205-462-7340, extension 800. Did ChatGPT get it right?
We're going to have to do it with hoops, too.
Hoops is going to be a lot harder. A lot harder, I think. So we'll save that for tomorrow. But I want to finish with A-Day because that was yesterday. A-Day announcement yesterday. A-Day was announced yesterday that it was not going to be a game. It's going to be an hour and a half practice. And you guys, if you're part of the Alabama, you can get autographs on the field afterwards. Great. If you're part of Tide Pride, they've got a Tide Pride breakfast. You're still going to have your Walk of Champions where you can see Tyler Booker, Malachi Moore, Jalen Milroe, Deontay Lawson all put their hands in the concrete. So, tradition lives. Tradition continues. You got Alabama track that day, baseball on campus, softball on campus. It is going to be a grand gumping day around Tuscaloosa, really. But it's not good enough for some people. And I don't really know what to say because you get this announcement yesterday, and this announcement is not news because they told you 3 weeks ago, we're not sure what we're going to do with A-Day. Coach DeBoer said it at the very first availability of spring. We're going to have something the fans can see. This is not a direct quote, but this is a paraphrase. He basically says, we're not quite sure yet. This is in the opening of his very first press conference because he is highlighting like 12.5 players who are out with injury. And this is not me running cover for the university of the program. This is just me keeping the facts straight. So this is not news. He tells you right off the bat, I got about 12.5 players who are out with injury. We're going to have something on April 12th. It might be a game. It might not be. He says it'll be a modified something. Okay. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Cool. We'll see you on April 12th. No problem. And then a couple weeks after, we go through the first week of practice. The boys go to spring break. The boys come back for the second week of practice. And it's let's assess where we are. I don't know the current status of the 12.5 players that are out, but I would imagine that they all got a little bit of an evaluation. And hey, guys, there's about 2 more weeks of camp left, of spring camp left. Who's doing what? What's your availability? I think they looked at that availability and assessed each one of them individually and said, I don't know if I want to play a game. You look across college football, people are canceling them left and right. And they're talking tampering. Get out of here. But all right. So all this setup, people are mad that you're not having real A-Day. You didn't have real A-Day last year. It was offense versus defense. And they already altered. It looked funny to me in the press box.
It was weird.
But whatever. The boys. The argument that I'm seeing, the most prevalent argument is stupid, but the most prevalent argument for having A-Day is it's the only time these walk-ons will get to play in Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's the only time these fifth stringers will get to wear the Alabama A on TV.
Boo-hoo. If you wanted to play, you should have gone somewhere that wanted you to play.
I don't feel bad for you because you said, oh, you know what? I'll accept this position where I will never see the field. You made that choice. People, we don't have this kind of sympathy for any other player. We don't have this kind of sympathy for when Jimmy Joe enters the transfer portal because he made a bad decision. No, but we want to try to cater to Tommy from Northport because, well, he tried real hard. He's a local kid and he's been there for years. This is ridiculous. If the kid wants to play, go somewhere that wants you to play. We're not going to cater to you and give you this fabricated game on TV, ESPN Plus. It's just such a stupid argument.
It's a stupid argument because it requires you to suspend your suspension of belief, to be stupid. It requires you to be intellectually dishonest. This is not a game.
Golly.
It's never been a game. It never will be a game unless you bring in someone that wears a different uniform.
Yeah, you have to play an opposing team.
It is not a game. And here's the deal. If you're upset about this, guess what? Billy Walk-On will get more reps in this hour-and-a-half practice in front of fans than he would have gotten if you were running an actual game.
Yep.
Billy Walk-On is going to get his 5 catches down the sideline during the drills, right? And everything's going to be scripted and manufactured. Everybody's going to get orange slices afterwards, and you're going to get your autograph, and everything's going to be A-okay.
Yep. It's insane.
I don't understand why people let them get themselves so here we are worked up about it, but I'm worked up about people being worked up about it. Like this,
I'm worked up because they're worked.
Yeah, I'm fired up because I don't understand what the big deal is.
No, it's all complete. It is fabricated. The people that are they couldn't tell you one walk-on this team. They don't know their names.
It's K-Dot Carew still on the team?
I mean, come on. Like, they don't care.
Is it K-Dot or Paul-Ot? Paul's the great uncle.
K-Dot is the one that was here. I don't know where he is now.
Yeah, Paul's like the uncle who was like actually really good.
But it's just that I don't know. They don't care. Those people do not actually care about these walk-ons. They just want something to be mad about. They want to complain about things changing. Well, it's not the way it was when I was watching football. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Be quiet. Accept that things change and just get on with it.
People talking about, no, they're not going to put it on TV. Buddy, they told you 3 weeks ago that it wasn't going to be on TV. You got to come to Tuscaloosa, and guess what? It's free. So you're like one of the few instances here where, yeah, usually I am on the side of the fan where it's like, oh, the university trying to roll you over, trying to bend you over. But free parking, free transport, they're going to have bus shuttles all day, and free entry. Whatever money you spend that day is on you for buying concessions or going to softball, baseball, or, autographs, whatever. But like, if you are a cheapo like myself and you just wanted to go watch some football for an hour and a half, you can just get in there and get gone, and you'll see all 3 quarterbacks. You'll probably see 5 quarterbacks with 2 walk-ons. Sure. You'll see every daggone lineman that they got, and it'll just be like, really? It's going to end up being better for you. You'll probably see more football.
Yeah, sure. You'll get to see a wider variety of players than you would have otherwise. Because it's just, oh man, people will look for anything to be mad about, and it's just people. You're going to get a free hour and a half of football in Bryant Stadium. Let's just be happy about it, folks.
All right, Mason Woods, we need to finish up. We're live, and we're presented by Warren Tire and Auto. They are Tuscaloosa University of Alabama staple. They have been such since 1961. They're in their 3rd generation of family ownership. Shout out Russ Warren, taking care of you and all of your cars at 2 great locations across Tuscaloosa. If you have tires, brakes, or alignment issues, you can see them on 15th Street. You can call them already at 15th Street to get your appointment, 205-759-5505. Or if you've got other automotive needs, you can see them at University Boulevard. That's for engine issues, electrical issues, transmission, belt problems. You can find them on University Boulevard. Call them to set up your appointment there at 205-758-2739. 2 great locations to serve you, 2 great locations to get you in and out and back on the road. That's Warren Tire and Auto, a proud sponsor of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. We'll finish with this, Mason Woods. We picked all the games. We picked Maryland, Florida, Arizona, Duke, Arkansas, Texas Tech. What about the Crimson Tide? Alabama and BYU at 6:09 on CBS. Big boy CBS. We get the main channel. You don't have to have a cable package. You can watch them on your rabbit ears. Alabama 5.5-point favorite. I've got my number in my head. How close are you going to get to it? What's your pick for this game?
I'm going to say 91-84 Alabama.
You were pretty close to the number in my head. I like that. I have 87-79.
Both of us going to the over. I like it. Well, the
cover.
Not the over.
The cover.
Yeah. What is the spread?
175.5. 175.
So many points.
What's that for a dummy who can't do math? 175 divided by 2 is 87.5. So they're looking at about 88 minus 5, 88, 83, roughly.
That's a high scoring game. I think we'll get there, though.
I think we will as well. BYU, bad defense. Alabama, mediocre defense. And we'll see if we're going on to take on the Duke Blue Devils.
It is the worst defense BYU has played, I think, in this tournament. I think I saw. I could be misquoting that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
That's easily verifiable in like 2 seconds. Let's see. Ken Palm says VCU's defense is 25, and Wisconsin's defense is 27. Oh, come on. Alabama at 29.
Yeah,
so
barely.
The worst defense they play. Basically the same, but marginally worse.
Yes.
We'll get out of here for the day. We will be back tomorrow in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios to talk about Alabama win, losing, or drawing, to debate the ChatGPT question with you. Call the voicemail line 205-462-7340, extension 800. React to the game tonight. For sure, react to the game tonight on the voicemail line. And we'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral and BamaCentral.